Welcome to the Eclectic Thrifter and Crafter, where we thrift and craft with purpose. It's Tea Tuesday. Or in my world, Crafty Tuesday. Today my tea is Twinings China Oolong. These are the last of the Walker's shortbread from Christmas. My cup is Crown Staffordshire. Crown Staffordshire began production in 1889, and even though the stamp on the back states 1801, that's the date the pottery was established and not the China Company. During the post-war years, Crown Staffordshire was one of the most successful China companies in England. In the 1960s and 70s, financial struggles due to labor costs forced them to sell to Wedgwood in 1973. China continued to be produced under Crown Staffordshire until 1985, when it was closed. For more China chat, check out the description below. This is the last rose of the season in the backyard. It's called Spanish Sunset. Now on to our craft for today. We're going to upcycle some vintage spools. I have been thrifting and collecting spools for about a year. So today I get to share with you what I'm going to be making. Your project first begins by wrapping your vintage spool with any color yarn you choose. Once your spool is wrapped, you're going to take a blanket stitch and go around the edges on both ends of the spool. After you've wrapped your spool, it's time to choose your colors and your design. And it's just that simple. This is a fun project that you can do with young people. The designs are very simple. The stitches are very easy to learn. And it will keep little hands busy. I use a blunt needlepoint needle. And that would be a good one to use with younger people. This is a fun little project to make as gifts or stocking stuffers. I'm making these for the craft fair. If you have a friend or family member who is a seamstress, these would make nice little ephemeral gifts for them. You could put them in a nice bowl or basket, and I think they'd be appreciated. Over this last year, I think people have learned to enjoy their home and making things by hand, and I think that's simply wonderful. I don't see particularly well, so threading a needle is not something I do particularly fast. But since I've sped up the video, it helps out a little bit. These are French knots, not one of my specialties, and a little bit tricky to do in yarn, but put your finger down on the knot as you're pulling it through, and that helps out quite a lot. And if you make a little mistake, you can always gather it like I'm doing and tighten it up just a touch. Embroidery is not my forte, even though I enjoy doing it. Not one of my strong points. This little upcycle spool project is a good way to use the tail ends of the embroidery threads that you've not thrown away. They don't go to waste. It's like a patchwork quilt. makes it very pretty, really. For most of the spools, I did use my tail ends that I've saved from other projects. Those pesky French knots. The yarn will hide those little tail ends. Isn't that cute? So now we're going to finish it off. This is my ephemera notebook. Again, I use baseball card storage for my ephemera pieces. Here I've formed a little collection of vintage labels from threads. And some of them are quite striking. I try to select a label that will coordinate with the color of yarn that I've used on the spool. Oh, those are flaps that I create so things don't fall out of the baseball card storage. It's best if you always use a separate set of shears for cutting paper. Using your dressmaker's shears for paper will ruin the blades. You can be very creative with these spools. You can decorate them with beads or other crafting notions. I just chose to do the embroidery work on them. When I prepare for craft fairs, I work in large numbers. This project will be 3 or 4 steps. First, I will wind all the spools with remnant yarn. Then I will do the embroidery work, and then I will finish off the spool with vintage labels. Once you've worked out your own system, projects can be accomplished quite quickly. Now, if you leave these spools just as they are, they make fine little ephemeral pieces, like I stated before. But we're going to do a little something special in just one moment. Have your glue gun ready? You're going to need a 6-inch upholstery needle and a small needle if necessary. Now I've preloaded my strings, and now I will show you how we put one together. I am using number 5 embroidery twist for this project. It is very strong and it will work just fine. And the string is going to be about 16 inches long, and you're going to double it. Make sure the knot's tight. Maneuver the knot about a third way up the string. I'm going to be using large bells and large spacer beads for this project. My goal this year is to use up as many of my supplies as possible, and most everything that I have has been thrifted. The bead goes on first, then your 2 bells. Now take the loop, the end, put it around the first bell, and that's going to anchor it down. The next bell you're going to tie down either an inch or ½ inch up the string, whichever you choose. This little bead you're going to tie down. And the reason you're tying it is because you don't want it to fall down against the bell. Now with the next step, that little knot is going to be caught up and it's going to be hidden inside of your spool. Upholstery needles are very handy in the craft room. You should have those among your notions. Give it a little tug, and there it goes. Pull it out just a little bit, just enough to put a dab of hot glue right on the opening. And that will secure your thread. Now we'll take one of our preloaded threads and we'll finish one more. Thank you for joining me for Tea and a Craft today. I hope it's been inspiring. If you've enjoyed my video, please hit the like button. It helps my channel to grow. Please share my channel with your crafting friends. Remember, we're now on Instagram. Hit that notification button for future announcements for thrifts and crafts. But most of all, please have a lovely, lovely day.